Music. Wizard.
So I'm sorry about that.
That's all right.
So what I was saying was this is the same tactic that he used during the summer vacation Bible school.
Yeah.
He tried to sabotage that, and what they did was they shut down the power
Yeah.
to the sanctuary. But anyways, we're not gonna go there.
And that was crazy. Like,
you have the saints in the dark.
yeah.
You know, I'm real about this. I'm so real about this. I mean what I say. When I said God told me to do this, I'm going to do it until he say to stop. So it doesn't matter who got what to say about anything. I am not going to stop until this thing is resolved and everything is right. We as a body have work
that's
to
what I'm saying.
do.
It's a gathering. These are saints praying before, quote unquote, a meeting. If any organization have a meeting, those mothers.
If there's any form of gathering, if it's religiously based, prayer is one of the main protocols.
You came back in. And we had a conversation with Elder Earl Carter, me and you. And I, from my recollection, I was speaking to Elder Earl Carter, and I told him, I said, you know what? I said, you know this is wrong. I said, what is he doing? He was like, yeah, man.
What I saw on that film with him in there like that, and the saints on their knees or seeking God, crying out to God, that was an interruption. It was a disruption. And it was disrespectful, and it was not godly. And no matter what anyone says, righteousness exalts a nation. But sin is a reproach to any
technically,
people.
Dennis is representing himself as the church.
Exactly. Now I'm gonna read, and then we're gonna break it down a little more.
Right, I'm hooked.
Okay, I'm gonna start over. For an example, if an attorney has a lien against his client's real estate, he may obtain his compensation through the sale of the property. That's if it was against 3311 or the address of the parsonage. You get what I'm saying?
I do.
So, anyways, there are 4 elements that makes a charging lien legitimate. Number 1, there has to be an express or implied contract between the attorney and the client.
What's going on, bro? Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. What's going on with you, man?
Man, I'm good. I'm good. How you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Just a little exhausted from a long day, but I'm good, man.
Uh, Tell me about it, man. I had a long day too, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, saints and friends, wherever you are, whoever you are, whatever you're doing, welcome to another edition of Conversation Kings. Yeah, this is the second edition, the second time since we are under the name Conversation Kings. We let y'all know that we were going to be doing a little bit something different, and so we want to just welcome you all. Listen, stop what you're doing, like and share. Stop what you're doing, like and share. And not only do I want you to like and share, but I want you to go to the YouTube channel and subscribe. Go to the YouTube
Oh
channel and
yeah.
subscribe so we can let y'all know what is actually happening here on Conversations with the Culture. We want y'all to know, or actually Conversation Kings. Back out.
You got. Yeah, you got to get used to saying conversation kings.
Yeah, got to get used to it. Hey, listen, we coming out with T-shirts. We coming out with hats. We coming out with coffee tumblers. Y'all help us out when y'all see that stuff on the Facebook and see it on the YouTube channel and see us with our gear on. You can get you a Conversation Kings T-shirt. You can buy you a Conversations baseball cap. You might even, hey, and I'm even thinking about putting out some Conversation Kings hoodies. So
Oh,
that's
come on, man.
that's next. That's next. So of course, winter time is coming up. Cooler weather is coming. You're gonna need that hoodie. So you can either gonna get it in black, white, or red. That's it. Black, white,
Okay.
color. That's the color. So man, but again, let me just ask, how you doing today?
I'm good, man. I'm no complaints. No complaints. I'm
Good.
here. I'm here. I'm here.
Yeah, so we're going to catch the people up so that everybody understands and knows where we are. I was supposed to have a conversation earlier with one of our good elders that's working on the case with our attorney Robert Mike, and I just want to give a shout out to Elder Van Johnson because he is putting in the grind. He is grinding. He is grinding on our behalf to make things happen. And he's working with our attorney to make sure that things are on point and also in line and in tune. He is really working hard. So my hat is off to Elder Van Johnson and the work that he is doing alongside Attorney Mike. So I mean, I just got to give him a shout out, y'all. Y'all make sure that y'all keep Elder Van Johnson lifted up in prayer, he and his family. So I'm just shout out that that
Yes, sir. Yes,
anybody.
sir.
Yeah. Did you have anything that you wanted to say on that, my brother?
Oh no, man. As you well, definitely, since the beginning of this fight, Elder Johnson, he's been instrumental in helping, just like you said, with the groundwork with a lot of this. So I applaud him as well. So
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. So, I'm kind of jump into this right quick, like because I want people to kind of like get caught up with what's going on. Some stuff I should have got from him that I didn't, but we got enough stuff that we can let you all know. I first want to, just kind of just say that we are still going through this. We are still experiencing some things, and people wonder why we are talking about it. The reason that we are talking about it is because Dennis Hutchins is a nonstop, and he is a threat to our church. He is a threat to the ministry, and he has people that are helping him to continue to be a threat. And we can't be silent on that. We just cannot. We have to expose what he's doing because he's stealthy, he's conniving, he's
Hmm.
um, wicked. He's evil. He does a lot of things that you all don't know. Like, for instance, on Sundays, they have changed or locked the doors. We don't have access to be able to get microphone stands on Sunday morning. So, any little small thing that they can do to try to hinder us, they're doing. So, we're,
Hmm.
it's just crazy stuff that continues to happen.
Yeah, and what's interesting about that is, um, even the tenants that come in prior to New Life coming in at 11, they didn't have access to that stuff, and it put a dent in their service to a
Yes,
certain degree,
it
from my understanding.
Yes, it did.
because
Yes, it did.
that's something that they're accustomed to using every Sunday. So, and they didn't have access, but we'll talk about that. We'll talk about
Yeah,
it.
yeah, we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that. Um, there are actually two celebrations this weekend, and a update that I want to talk about, which we will get into. Um, I'm going to say that is Dr. Brockington had an eviction hearing. I believe it was on this past Monday, right? I
Hmm.
think it was. Okay. So what I want to talk about is the celebration. So let's go into, first of all, first and foremost, why don't we hit on the celebration that's supposed to be happening on the 28th?
Okay, nice. Yeah. We'll definitely be celebrating Lady Drina. As we know, she's been faithful. She's been a part of this ministry for some years now. Um, this is a sponsored event it's an event that Bishop, when he was still with us, he would help sponsor this event just to celebrate her. Because I mean, believe it or not, Lady Drina she's somebody to know here in the city and even around the country. But we're excited to say that she's a part of New Life. Um, and right away from the beginning, when she came to the church with the Lord led her to New Life, I mean, it was just a joy to have her a part of our ministry and bringing her expertise and everything that she, like I said, even uh, her great reputation, her notoriety in the
In the city,
community.
yeah, in the
So,
community, correct.
yeah.
I want to reiterate and just expand even on that. And, again, if you all are watching, please like and share, like and share, like and share, because we're going to tell you all some things that are very important. Um, so, getting back to the event, Lady Drina's event has been on the book for months. And it is always at this same time every year. And
Mhm.
Bishop was a huge supporter of this event. He paid for several guests, hotel stays, made sure that the event was a success by not only giving money, but also providing space. And this was something that he would give to her because Lady Drina was very instrumental in getting Bishop and Dr. K on the radio, getting them back on radio. And I know a lot of you used to tune in. A lot of our guests that are watching would tune in to a word with that. What was I can't remember what the name of her radio show was, but
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
remember. But I know a lot of the ladies, especially the ladies at New Life, would tune in and listen to Dr. K, and they would also listen to the broadcast with Bishop. When he would come on.
Mhm.
Dr. Lady Drina was very instrumental getting them back on the air. You remember Bishop would always promote the event from the pulpit. So, for the only reason that we can come up with, because this event was supposed to be held at the church, New Life, the only reason that I can come up with, the only thing that makes sense that her event was booted is because we had a successful Founders Day program that Dennis could not stop.
Yeah, and it's possible. Especially from my knowledge, it was already on the books.
Yes.
It was already approved,
Yep.
and which is already an issue that we know that we're dealing with because um, even in this fight, as we've discussed, they feel like they have control of the property, and it's equal. We share. We
That's right.
share. We share. Both factions share as long as it does not interfere with something that's already transpiring. There shouldn't be any issues. And so this was something that was already on the books,
Yes.
and just out of the blue, um, we started seeing announcements about the 25th church year anniversary
Yeah.
banquet or whatever it is. And
as as you know, this is something that's never been. We've never had a celebration, and maybe that's what they're riding off. We never did it before, so we're gonna do it now. I don't know, but it's crazy because here's another event where, even though it's Lady Drina's event, she's going to honor Bishop Hutchins. If you've seen the fly, you even see where Bishop's picture is a part of the fly because she wanted to, pay homage to him and his legacy, apart, combining it with her
Right,
celebration.
right.
So it's just crazy to me. Here's another event to honor our leader and this great man of God was to us, and yet again, you try your best to sabotage it.
Yeah, and so it's been deemed that it's supposed to be a white party, right? And
Now
it
you're talking about the banquet. You're
yeah,
talking about the banquet.
yeah, not Lady Drina's thing. So we're talking about the banquet that Lady Drina's celebration was booted off the books, which have been on the books. I want people to understand this, that sometimes you have to do things to make peace, right? Um, but if the IAB were to enforce themselves, they could wipe that out. They
Yeah,
could
for sure.
really wipe
Yeah.
that out because, per the judge order, the business of the church is handled by the IAB. The reason that it seems to people that Dennis is in charge is because Sister Tangela's in office. Those people are working in the office
Mhm.
and they have control. But that stuff is supposed to be relinquished to the IAB at this current moment because the IAB is in charge. They are actually in contempt of the judge's order
Mhm. Yeah, for sure.
by the leading and the coercion of their said attorney Odessa McMiller. I'm sorry, Odessa, what the hell is
Joiner.
her name? Joyner. Thank
Yeah.
you. My apologies, Odessa Joyner. Which there's some news even about that, which we will share, but I got to get a release. It's very important that you all understand and know even that. So I want to caution the people that this white party is supposed to be a fundraiser for a food pantry. All right. First of all, it's almost to me too little too late, right? If you're talking about a
Mhm.
food pantry, it's too little too late. And as Lady Drina is saying, her celebration is for unity and honor of Bishop. It's a family reunion.
Yeah.
Exactly. I want. I'm going to discuss this part with you because this fundraiser, in my opinion, is fake and it's phony. If you are attending and you are purchasing tickets, I want to caution you to spend your money wisely.
Mm.
Spend your money wisely. Okay. First of all, I'm saying it's a celebration. It's 2 years. It's a celebration, right? It's supposed to be a celebration of White Party, right?
Mhm.
But it's a fundraiser to raise money for the food pantry. We've been 2 years without the food ministry. 2 years. Money is not needed for this. You know why? Because the food is free,
Right.
coming from New Life Church of Orlando is tax exempt and it's nonprofit. Those are two things. It's a tax exempt, number one. Well, first of all, number one is nonprofit. Number two is tax exempt. All right. There is space that was already created in different sections for the food bank. Space already created, modified, set up, safe, free from rodents, bugs, all that kind of stuff. Bishop allowed Sister
Charisse.
Sharice and Sanchez.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. That's yeah.
Mrs. Sanchez set it up. Remember, we did a whole tour of the food bank that
Hmm.
Bishop was so proud of. He wanted
Hmm.
everybody to see you're not just doing things, ladies and gentlemen. This is ministry at work, ministry at its best.
Hmm.
Got the whole thing set up. Don't need money, ladies and gentlemen, because the food comes from the food bank. They just need to know where to deliver it
Hmm.
so it can be distributed. Why do you need to raise money for something that you don't need money for? Why? In my opinion and in my thoughts, that money is going to pay for something else. It's either going to fund his lifestyle, which I believe,
Legal fees.
and legal fees.
Yeah.
I believe that is both of those because now there is word, and I'm going to have to tell you all once I get a release. I can't tell you now. I really want to, but it's my fault for not making the phone call to get the release to give the information. But that is a fundraiser for legal fees. And it's a fundraiser to continue in the lifestyle that he is trying to live.
Yeah. It's interesting because um I can even remember one of the last hearings that we went to as a church. The judge specifically uh, said, his desire was that for no one to raise money, even for legal fees.
Right.
And if you remember, on New Year's night, that's exactly what they did. They took up an offering. It was Robbie Pressey. He got up and raised the offering for legal fees, and that's against the judge's
Order.
order.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's exactly what it's for. Um, just like you said, there's no reason. First of all, the building was already prepped for it. Even at the beginning of this fight, if y'all remember, it was like maybe 2 to 3 weeks in after the death of Bishop. That's when we found out as a ministry that the food program was no longer in operation.
Yep, that's
And
true.
so a lot of people don't know the behind the scenes about that. He cut it.
Cut it and said there was no room
There's no
in
room for that in
ministry.
his ministry for that.
His,
And then he turned around and said that he was going to do it 3 times bigger and better than what was, currently
be
happening.
better. It's
It's
gonna
going
be
to
better.
be 3 times better. And what they did, if you remember, uh, and if you remember what they did, they used the utility
Shed, the utility shed.
shed that
Yes.
that's
So,
designed for landscape
rural.
equipment,
Yep.
and that's what they call themselves moving all the food to. And for that reason, rodents and all kinds of things were exposed to those
Destroyed,
goods
destroyed it. Yeah.
and destroyed it. And then weeks later, if you remember by the fellowship hall, they set up. They call themselves setting up.
Goods.
Anybody who want this stuff, come get this stuff. It's free. And the people was like, "No, we're not getting
Yeah.
that stuff. You can those rats and rodents done pissed on it. Come on, man."
Everything pissed and who knows what else done crawled over it,
Oh,
right?
God,
And it was determined that the amount of food that was destroyed was $25,000 worth of food.
worth of food. That's right.
So you now you want to try and restart a food ministry after 2 years of not having one because
Mm-hmm.
you said there wasn't a need for it in your ministry. That's what you
Mm-hmm.
said.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Dennis said. And here's the thing: it's not his ministry.
That's right.
I 3311 North Powers Drive does not belong to Dennis Hutchins.
Say it
And that's
again.
what his attorney keeps claiming, and he keeps claiming that it is his. It's not his. The church does not belong to him.
It belongs to the people.
It belongs to the people. It belongs to the organization. You're trying to represent yourself as the organization, and that's not it. So hence, after all of that, and all of what he's done, Lady Drina had to move her program. She had to move it. And again, I'm cautioning anyone who is attending, because Pressy and them were here the weekend, which we'll go into to tell about. I'm going to hit on that in just a few moments. But staying in with this, Lady Drina's program was moved, and it's all good. It's actually all good. You know why? It just shows how God already knew that this was going to happen. This is not escape God. And so when Lady Drina, she called me, she was upset. She was crying. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? I don't know what to have. What's going to do? I said, listen, calm down. Stop crying. It's going to be all right. As soon as she told me what he did, the Lord began to download into me to tell her what to do. Like, listen, this is what we need to do. And we formulated with God's leading how to look, hey, go find another place. People were ready and willing to give her a place to do it, right? This is how much money we need. All right. The Lord told me, say, do this. I told her exactly what God told me to tell her. Lady Drina did it. And before the end of the day, we had everything that we needed in order for her to process it out into another church. Everything before the day was out. That next day, she got up, closed everything, went over. She said, I want to have the people the money. Her cash app wasn't working. The people were sending me money. People were sending me money. I was blocking them because we got what we need. So I'm like, I don't need it. A few more people wanted to send something. So I sent Elder Marcus this money. I looked and I said, okay, I'll accept it. And I cash apped everything to Lady Drina. Everything. Not one dime did she not get, because this was meant for her, and she got it. So we moved on to another place, and that's where the event is going to be. And you all see the flyer out there. Her event is going to be a success.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be a success.
Oh yeah.
Going to be. One thing, it pays to be kind. It pays to be godly, because evil has an end, saints. Evil has an end. And it's not good when a person does evil against the children of God. It's not
Right.
good. There's consequences to that. There's consequences. And remember this. Remember this. A lie has wings. When we started out, Dennis had already spread the lies. The lies went out so fast that even our heads were spinning. You know good and well that Bishop Sheard, J. Drew Sheard, did not appoint you as no pastor at no funeral. That did not happen. Many lied and said that. But before that happened, the lies were already being put in place. The letters, the fake letters, the meetings, the secret meetings, all of that stuff was being put in place before anything happened. And so the truth is, as we stated earlier, we have a process at New Life Church of Orlando for how pastors are selected in this church. We
That's
have a
right.
process. It's by vote. It's not by self-assuming. It's not by lies. It's not by fake letters. It's not by thievery. It's not by purposely deceiving the people, which is exactly what Dennis did, and he's still doing. What
Yeah.
you say?
Yeah. It's, and honestly, from my perspective, we talked about it several times, me along with several of the saints. It's disheartening. Um, just to even see our brothers and sisters on the other side, just being bamboozled,
Yeah,
being bamboozled by these lies, and in my opinion, of course, everyone is entitled to their own opinions,
absolutely.
uh, but at the same time, when the truth is sitting in front of your face, it's just, man, it's something else. But hey, one day,
One day, I
one day.
mean, here's the thing. We've been constantly plugging at the truth. We've been constantly
Mhm.
plugging at the truth. And again, A lie has wings, but truth walks slowly.
Hmm. Hmm.
Walks it down.
And
Walks.
something else that I think I mentioned it on uh, maybe a show or two. Uh, One of the things that I asked the question, if we are so loving and we want to create unity and we want to be in peace and all this stuff, why is there such uh seeds of discord that's still being planted? Um, like I said, when it came down to the founders week or the founders celebration, we invited everyone.
Everyone.
That already shows me that no, it's something to it. I mean, it's not that I really want to attend. Let me put that out there, but I'm just saying, if it was so called about the church and you know living peacefully amongst each other, you would invite the whole church,
The
not
whole
a
church.
faction. You
Yes,
know,
sir.
so it's crazy. It's just
And,
crazy to
that,
me.
and that's why we were able to, because we did things right. That is why it was able to go off the way that it was good. We're
Hmm.
not hiding equipment from anyone. You can't use the equipment at the church. Now you locking up the door so we can't get microphone stands. Guess what? That's fine. Keep the
Hmm.
microphone stands. We can hold the mics in our hand.
And it's crazy because I mean, it's not to mention a lot of the upkeep of the church in its current state is coming from this faction. That's what a lot of people don't understand. There's certain things that would, instruments wise, I can say for sure that it was from this faction that certain things were taken care of. Mics were replaced. Uh, I'm not even gonna get into some of the things that I've done personally.
Yeah, yeah.
Some of the things that Minister Travis Mason have done personally. Like I said,
Things that Brother
and we're
Leon
talking about
has done
thousands of
personally.
dollars
Yeah,
on microphones replacement,
yeah.
things like that. People don't know behind the scenes.
Yeah,
So
you brother, things that Brother Leon has done, that
exactly,
keep things going. Like these people
exactly.
sacrifice so that the service is good.
Hmm.
So it's crazy because um, a lot of people don't even know. Leon has to do their service, and then
Oh
he has
man.
here. I would not even want to be in his position, having
Yeah.
to watch them do all the crazy stuff they do, try to make their service good, but then when he comes to try to do ours, it's a fight and a hiding this and a hiding that, and taking cameras, and he has to go beyond, above and beyond, to make sure that our service is right. But again, whatever you do evil to people, there is I believe God has a law of reciprocity. It's called whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap.
Hmm.
You can't continue to do this and then think that God is not going to repay you for your evil. We don't have to do anything. Con- I just want to encourage the people of God. No, he did not buy those stands, cousin Norma. He absolutely did not. No, he didn't buy those stands. Um, all of that stands and stuff, that's the church. It belongs to the church. We had those stands before, so they. But it's okay. We don't need them. We actually don't. There, God has already put a ram in the bush, and when I tell you a ram is in the bush, it's in the bush. Dennis has paid people to do us harm. He has paid people to sabotage our service. He has paid people, and those people have come to services unbeknownst to him and have seen how our service is versus what they get from him. And they're amazed. They're like, wait a minute. That man was not telling the truth. That man lied. Man, straight up and down lied. Keep this in mind. The amount of negative energy that Dennis spends conjuring up in his mind, lying and talking to the people and blocking and trying to, that's a lot of negative energy. And the negative energy is sitting inside his body, sitting inside his body. What do you think happens with all that that demonic energy?
Well, of course, it's relief, and I don't think it's just in him. It's also in those who are around him,
Yep.
who surrounds himself
Right.
uh, among. So it's it's so sad, man. It's so sad, man. I I- on a daily basis, I know we talk with several of the members, from time to time, and it's to the point that we as a church, the people are just tired of the foolishness, man.
Yes, everybody.
Everybody's just tired. It's like, when will this be over? Um, but we got to keep on fighting,
Yeah.
got to keep on fighting until, we there is, a final say,
Mm-hmm.
which is crazy. I know we're about to go into um, the subject about even uh, Sister Minister Brockington. But just like just like you said at the beginning of the show, it does not stop with this guy, man. It does not stop.
Man, listen here. One of our viewers says this. It says the body keeps the score. It's a well-known phenomenon. When
Ooh.
you harbor that negative energy in you, your
Hmm.
body, it takes a toll on your body. It takes a toll. Here's the thing, that negative energy, it's releasing because it's releasing a little bit to the people that are around you. They are also affected by it, and then they also partake in the evil that you do. In good conscience, as just a regular human being, not even, let's take salvation completely out of the picture.
Hmm.
Let's take God out of the picture. As a person that has just a nature or a citizen, good citizenship, you would not purposely, a person that has good citizenship would not purposely do anything to harm anybody else.
No,
But you have to be taught that.
that's right.
Have to be taught that. And your parents teach you good citizenship.
That's right.
Whether you stick to it or not is something else. Because that's the same thing that as a father or a mother that you teach to your own children, how to be good citizens, how to be neighborly, how to be productive, right?
That's right.
That when that negative energy is gone,
Hmm.
then what's going to happen to the people that are feeding off of that negative energy?
Ooh,
They
wow.
have no more negative energy to feed off of.
Wow.
The body, the body takes. I like that. That's true. Man, the devil can only be what he is. Oh my God. Somebody else in the chat comments. Oh my God. Then it said, thank God for your diligence and vigilance. Keep up the good work. Absolutely. But that thing is so good. That thing is so good. It's the body keeps the score. It's a well-known phenomenon.
Mm.
Wow. Your body keeps the score. What's gonna happen when that negative energy dissipates? What's
Hmm.
gonna happen? If it can't come out, if it can't release, then it
It's
begins.
only going to affect the body. It,
Yes, yes, that's it. Let me
yeah,
see.
it's going to be detrimental. That's all I can think of.
Very, very. Let me read this comment here. Psalm 37, 1 through 4 says, do not fret because of evildoers, nor be envious of the workers of iniquity, for they shall soon be cut down like the grass and wither as the green herb. This is from
Hmm.
one of our viewers. Trust
Hmm.
in the Lord and do good. Dwell in the land and feed on his faithfulness.
Yes, sir.
Delight yourself also in the Lord, and he shall give you the desires of your heart. Amen. Amen. That's a good one. That's another good one. Because, so here, that negative energy has to come out. negative energy implodes and manifests in physical sickness. That is a fact.
That's true.
And I got a phone call. Somebody, a prophet called me, and they said, I hear the Lord say it won't be much longer.
Mm.
I said, now, Elder, I'm not speaking anything bad. I'm not speaking anything negative. But I heard the Lord, and he said, the Lord never misses with me. He said, the Lord said, it won't be much longer. It behooves people who are doing, let me tell you something. It behooves the people to do right by the people of God. Just do the right thing. You know good and well that there is a process. You know good and well that there was a procedure. You want something that you are not supposed to have. And it has affected the entire ministry to a degree and to a point. But we are on the move to get back to where we were.
Absolutely. And we've
Back.
been doing so. We've been doing so. I think, honestly, from the time that Bishop transitioned on December 5th, 2022, I think I've seen, and I think all of New Life can attest that we've done more now.
Yeah,
We've done more now than we've been doing in a long time. I'll just
yeah,
put it like that. But at the same time, we're doing more now than since from the time he took over,
yeah,
quote unquote, you know.
yeah,
And so, I mean, I'm grateful for the direction that we are going and our pursuit to get things back to where they were and
absolutely.
beyond
And beyond, and
and
beyond.
beyond.
It's a different type of shift and transition, and it's not all that comfortable. And I get
Mhm.
that. It's not comfortable because what's happening is while we're transitioning, our spirits are rubbing one another, and it's kind of abrasive at times. So
Mhm.
I get that. And we do things unintentionally, and we may offend someone unintentionally in the as we're moving through this. It's a new place for a lot of us because a lot of you have some people that are from the old Malone OIC era, and then you
Mhm.
those of us who knew of Malone and OIC. We weren't naturally a part of it, and New Life because we were there due to Bishop Hutchins at the time being our superintendent, being a part of the jurisdiction, a district that we were in. So we were there. So as we're transitioning now on this new journey, it's not new to some who have been there all along, but it's new to some of us who were in that first original fight.
Right. Yeah.
So everybody is really literally trying to find their footing. We're trying to find our placement. We're we're filling this out. We are now again almost like a new church.
Yeah. Because when you really look at it, um, which we don't want to, dwell on that too long, but the fight at Malone at the time, that was an external fight.
Yes. Yes.
This fight now is internal.
Internal.
That's the difference. And I think that's what makes it a little bit more complicated.
Absolutely.
Because it's an internal fight, and then not only with it being internal, we have to fix it internally
Yeah.
amongst ourselves at this
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
So
Under new construction. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. We are under new construction. And I want this is what we were experiencing are growing pains.
hmm
Experiencing growing pains. Because even though they're trying to stagnate us and trying to hinder us and stop us with every single trick, it's only coming from one person. But then what's happening is now he's also partnered with another evil entity, which would be in the person of Earl Carter. Earl Carter is an evil entity. I don't care what anybody says. Y'all might not, some people are listening and watching, they may not like me for this. Go back and tell them what I said. I mean exactly what I said. He is an evil entity because that man spent 15, close to 15 years hating Bishop Hutchins, dogging Bishop Hutchins, the man who actually literally helped him more than any other church of God in Christ person personally. gave him place to preach, put money in his pocket, kept his bills paid. Good to him.
Open Doors International Church when
Open
they
doors,
when they
open
cut
doors.
him out, when they blackballed him.
They blackballed him and put him out. And when he went over somewhere over on West Florida, somewhere over past Tampa, somewhere, I don't know, somewhere in Florida, he was running a church, and they put him out. They put chains on the door. And there's no lie. They put chains on the door. He lost that. So you got two men who are evil in their thinking and evil in their ways. Because see, you could put on a good persona. And I say he puts on a good persona. You know the word. Praise the Lord. You knew it. The enemy knows the word. Bible said the devil heard the word and trembled because he know what it's about. And you can use big words. You can call people sycophants, and you can say all these kind of things and use these big words to impress people. But then behind the scenes, for those of us who know you and have seen your works, because I was fooled. I was fooled. Bishop will always tell us, don't watch the videos because he knew it would make us upset. Don't watch them. But now that now is your best friend and your assistant pastor. It is behind all of that negative energy that's coming from him, from Dennis, and that poison and that hatred and what's in it is poison, bro. It's hatred, it's envy, it's greed, it's lust, it's a lust for power, it's a lust for authority, it's a lust for dictatorship. All those moves are of a person who is evil. All of those moves are a person who is evil. And then all the ones who fall up in it are spiritual concubines because they agree with it. They allow themselves to partake in it. They're spiritual concubines, all of them. All of them. Now, Dr. Brockington.
Yeah.
Dr. Brockington. Jealousy is ugly in every form. So now we have two men who stewed in the jealous juice. Ooh.
Wow. Wow.
Ooh, 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 ooh. We need to gain this learning. If Bishop were here, we wouldn't know how to fight on this wise. He taught us how to fight godly. He did. He did. He did. He did. It says he showed good hospitality. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Bishop was awesome. See, I'm reading these comments. I've never been a fan and could never enjoy his preaching. Me either. He does not even have he doesn't have a new message. He doesn't have a new message. He doesn't have anything to say. He has nothing to say. Now, Dr. Brockington received an eviction notice. An eviction notice for the adult daycare. And she had to go to court on Monday. They had a hearing. Now, ladies and gentlemen, saints and friends, Dr. Brockington told Minister Carter and myself that the case was dismissed. However, he did allow Odessa 10 days to respond to his dismissal. Right? Now, Dr. Brockington was on a Zoom call. This hearing was held via Zoom. Odessa was on the call. Dennis was on the call. Robert Pressey was on the call. He was also over at is it West Orlando Church of God in Christ on this past Sunday. That's the name of Byron Church.
I believe, yeah, that's what was said.
Yeah, I got one of the members called me and told me, and I was like, well, what was he doing over there? You know, it just pricked my. He was like, just pricked my nosiness. You know, because normally I wouldn't care, but I didn't know that he was also a part of this hearing to evict Dr. Brockington
Mm-hmm.
from her place of business. Her place of business. This is another form of retaliation against us. Remember that the IAB is in charge of business. The IAB, not Dennis, not Tangela, not Odessa. The IAB. Odessa, the attorney for Dennis, who says that she represents New Life, she don't represent me. Does she represent you,
You sure
Minister?
does?
I don't think she represents anybody because she never had a conversation with us to say that she was going to be my attorney. I'm being sued. Uh, I'm being sued. This was after, because see, when when they put the lawsuit in, this was after that initial lawsuit that Lady Vernice brought against, not the church, against the insurance policy to make sure that she
Mm-hmm.
got her
Mm-hmm.
just due, her just deserves. Then she said she represented the church. Well, when did you have a conversation with us and tell us that you were our attorney?
Hmm.
You didn't talk to me,
She didn't talk to anybody.
anyone. She talked to Dennis, her and her. Y'all, I got some, y'all, this juice I got to tell y'all, but I can't tell y'all yet. I got to get a release. But Dr. Brockington went to the hearing, and the judge dismissed it, listening to some. So, but he did give them space to come back and say some other things. But to know that Pressy was on that call, I was like, wow, 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 wow. I mean, like, they're not gonna stop. How can you say that you are? Well, hello, Sister Suzetta. Hello, hello. Shout out back to you, to the Philippines. How do you align yourself with that? And you say that you were bishops. He I remember when he invited Derek Jr. up into the pulpit, and Dennis got mad.
I remember that.
And
I
ever
remember
since
that.
then, he been against us. Like, what is this?
Yeah, it shocked me when I seen him that at that hearing that day. It was him and Rick Love,
Rick Love?
Earl Carter, Pernell Smith. Uh, they came in court that day
Yeah, I
like it
remember.
was gonna
They thought it was
like
gonna be a slam dunk. They were so
and
surprised to see how many people
but
were
the
there.
thing that I'm like, man, Pastor Derek is a strong man
Yeah,
mentally. I have to
yeah.
say so because you have to see uh these individuals, especially like us, Pressy, especially him. This is someone who you've seen for a good portion of your life, back from South Carolina days. Now you and I watched him. He walked in, he put his hand out, Pastor Derek. And Pastor Derek like, oh hey, how you doing?
And know you dirty.
And know you dirty.
You know you low down and stinking and dirty.
Coming up and they coming up, Pernell Smith, you coming up there with your upside down collar on.
Yeah.
It's man, when I tell you, and I've said it before, all of my days in the church, I've never seen
Never,
anything on
never.
this
He was
wise.
never for bishop. He was never for bishop. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I was responding to a comment.
Okay, but I've never seen anything on this wise, But I guess it's something that we all had, just like Pastor Rose was saying, it's something that we had to experience for such a time as now.
Yeah, yeah. I have to. I know that there are people on this live who remember the whole dealings with that whole thing that from South Ivy Lane. It is something nefarious to me. it is something very nefarious to me that Robert Presley will go over to Byron's church. Something nefarious. If it's not, it's not. But to me, and you know, I heard from the horse's mouth myself. We had conversations. And I said this, and I'll never forget I said this. I said, there is going to be a day when y'all have to answer for the evil that y'all did against those people at Malone Memorial Church of God in Christ at OIC. Somebody's going to have to answer for that. How do these people think it is only the grace? No, it is only the mercy of God that they still walking around on this earth today for the dog devil stuff they did. It's only a mercy of God. I wouldn't even call it grace. I just mercy. He had mercy on you. You know why? Because grace comes to those who have a relationship. Example, you go before a judge. You don't have relationship with the judge. You have no relationship. But you beg him for mercy, and he can give you mercy. Don't have a relationship, but grace comes from love.
Mm-hmm.
Grace comes. I'm gonna overlook that because I love you. You got grace. You got
In other
grace.
words, grace. No, I ain't even gonna say it. I gotta write this
No,
one
go
down.
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Uh, this one is fresh off the press. Grace gives you space. Grace gives you space, but yeah.
Grace gives you space. Mercy is just, you know what? I could. Matter of fact, you're gonna get punished, but it's not gonna be as heavy as it would be.
Mm-hmm.
But grace eliminates it all. Grace said, "Look, I'm not even gonna touch you with it." But that's why I say these people did the most evil and vile
Yeah.
things. You stand out in on a street corner. You are the assistant pastor to the man who you stood out in front of the church screaming and hollering to Bishop Owens. Yeah, put him out. Put him out at a funeral service that Elder Ricky Rose, Pastor Ricky Rose, was actually officiating or preaching. Wasn't he doing this? He was
He
preaching
was
the funeral.
preaching. He was preaching.
He was
Yeah.
preaching the funeral. Stand outside the gates, yelling and screaming, put him out. You the main one. And now, and then even after that, Bishop gave him grace
Mm-hmm.
and mercy. Because he could have been like, I don't want anything to do with you. But
That's right.
extended to him grace and mercy.
That's it.
Gave you space. Like you said, grace gives you space. He gave that man space.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you dogged this man out for 14 years. You know how many degrees you could get in 14 years? How much money you could spend to better yourself in 14 years? And you spend 14 years dragging this man because you mad that the bishop put you on hiatus.
Mm-hmm.
Bishop Hutchins didn't do it. That was Bishop Blake's decision.
That's right.
Oh my God, man. Somebody said, grace gives me space. I received it. I
Mm-mm-mm.
received it. I received it. Grace gives
Yeah,
me.
man. It's just it's you
And
know.
that's right, Bishop. That's right, Pastor. And paid him.
Mm-hmm.
And paid him.
And so I mean to get back to what we I can't.
What happened? What you what,
You gonna see the comment. I can't.
let's say
Sister
he's
Livingston
put a
is
bad boy,
hilarious.
a bad boy in there.
Oh man, I can't. Okay, let me gather myself. But no, man, it's just crazy. What they are trying to do to Minister Brockington. Um, as we know that senior daycare there's none likening to it for a great distance from the Pine Hills uh, community. We are the only church or property that's housing such,
Yes,
and I mean, in all the work, and I see the pattern. That's the crazy thing. I see the pattern. Um, it's just like what they did to Miss Kim. You know, it's disheartening. These are individuals that we know for sure that came in and made their own investments and upgraded certain areas of the property. Anybody that attends New Life, what has been done in the adult daycare.
absolutely.
Minister Brockington and her family, her
Yeah,
sisters, they did that.
they spent 6 figures getting that place
Six
together.
figures.
Hmm.
Same thing with Miss Kim
With Miss
with,
Kim,
with
right?
upstairs.
That's
And
right,
Bishop was bragging about it when he like, you if y'all know what they did upstairs, it'll blow y'all mind. And he said it it is at the amount of somewhere of over $200,000 upstairs
man.
that Miss Kim and her school went in and did renovations and upgrades, and they received the same treatment. And from what we were told, only thing Odessa Joyner could say was, "Well, we want somebody to be able to come in that can pay rent."
And bro, can I jump in right quick?
Yeah,
Because
yes, sir.
she said that, and she knows that they have actually stopped Dr. Brockington from being able to work.
That's right.
Do y'all know that with the work that this is something that you all do, that the people that our listeners don't know, and this is why New Life Church of Orlando is a hot commodity. It is
Hmm.
a hot commodity. Not only for the plant. Now everything is just on hiatus. Remember, Dennis was talking about, oh, we breaking land. We gonna be building, and breaking no land, ain't building nothing
Hmm.
until this stuff is settled. Hush your mouth. You're lying again and again and again. But here is with what Dr. Brockington has done and the coding
And the
that she
zoning,
got accomplished and the zoning, we could literally have a clinic on site,
a hospital,
a
an actual
hospital,
hospital.
an
Yep.
actual hospital. That room can be because of the work that she and her family did. Why do you all think that Bishop was so proud of that work?
Hmm.
Because he knew this is the future of a visionary. This is the sight and mindset of a visionary versus a handout and a gimme, gimme, gimme.
That's right.
Then there's no vision.
Yep.
He has no vision.
And it,
Go ahead, bro.
it's just crazy because, just like we were, having a discussion, that adult daycare um, may not be the only, but it was definitely one of the segues for our ministry in the community. And it's like, okay, no, we don't care nothing about what you did. And I can remember even during that time, it took uh, Minister Brockington and her sister. It took them a while to get that
Yes,
approval.
over a year.
Over a year, just waiting for the approval. And I can remember when it finally happened. Bishop was like, okay, he was excited.
Because he knew what that meant.
Mm-hmm.
He
That's right.
knew what that meant. A
That's right.
hospital, y'all gotta hear this.
We
If
could, if we had the space, and we could build a hospital, and the
that whole
zoning is
wing,
already there.
that whole wing under there could be a hospital. That whole entire
Really,
wing
yeah, that's right.
could be a hospital because of what the work that Dr. Barker did. Y'all, we have to applaud her. I gotta applaud her for that because that's real, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Her and her sister, her family, they put a lot of work into doing that. And Dennis has, y'all,
He wants the space to rent to
to
rent.
Ike, to give it to Ike.
or whoever.
Because Ike has Dr. Brockington's whole storage room. He got a bunch of junk in her storage room. She can't even get his junk out of her storage room because
Wow.
of Dennis. I will have all that stuff sitting on the side out there by that dumpster, and that
Mm-hmm.
car that's sitting out there, that's been sitting out there for a year. Put all of it right there because that's her space. But she's being kind. She's really being kind. But that
Yeah.
is her space here. And you know what? If we had by now 3311 would be gone.
Oh yeah, for sure,
By
for
now
sure.
3311 would be gone. We are holding Dennis up from doing what he wants to do with that property. We
Hmm.
holding him up.
And it's sad because, you would use uh what is going on with the church. You would use that as a personal vendetta.
Yeah.
You would use that as a personal vendetta and target Minister Brockington. Is
He
That's her.
targeted that.
That's her business. That's her vision. That's her investment.
It is.
But if you ain't with me, and that, come on, man.
She said that when I'm glad you pointed that out because she told us, she told you and I that in court, Odessa turned it around as if this whole thing was her fault. That the reason that the church is where it is now is because it's her fault.
Yeah.
No, it's not her fault. What happened is we stepped out there first,
Mm-hmm.
and then everybody else started like looking at, yeah, something isn't right.
Mm-hmm.
And at first, I think that there was a hesitation again because people really were like, maybe we just let's wait and see what's happening. But the thing about it is, the lies kept coming and coming and coming. The questions. I don't want to talk to a bunch of y'all, but I'll talk to you individually because see, that's an isolation tactic.
Mm-hmm.
That's
That's
how he
right.
got the few that he got because he was
That's
able
right. Divide and conquer.
divide and conquer. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get you off by yourself. I'm gonna get you off by yourself, and then I'm gonna talk to you, and then I can give you my thoughts and my ideas. Nobody challenged the lie except for a few of us, because even when he stood up there that Sunday and he was talking about Derek trying to start his own church, I went back in that office. I was like, "Yo, what do you mean?
That
You
ain't
know
him.
good and well that that man is not coming here to start." I said, "Why would he start a church when?" We have one here. Got one. Don't
Mm-hmm.
need to go. And I said, and furthermore, if he wanted to go out on Powers Drive and build a church in the middle of the street with palm fronds and oak leaves, he could do it. Who gonna stop him?
Mm-hmm. It's oh
So
man.
Dr. Brockington has to now answer because she took her time. That's why we all didn't see her in rehearsal. We didn't see her in church on Sunday. She had to be prepared
Mm-hmm.
for this meeting. And you got these people who claimed to be who claimed to be friends of Bishop and was smiling on her face. You know, I why is it okay, right? And I'm going to ask you. This is a rhetorical question, but why is it okay to go against the established process and procedures that were put in place
Mm-hmm.
for New Life Church of Orlando in 1999? But it's not okay. It, it, it's and it's okay for Dennis to lie and try to override it, but it's not okay for us to stand up against what he's doing. Why is that not okay? Why is that not okay for us as church and for us as people in the ministry? Why is it okay for him to go against the established process and the procedure that says this church has to vote in a pastor? We are
Mm-hmm.
not just going to give it There has to be a voting.
That's right.
So how do you just do that? And then when somebody says something against it, we the ones wrong. How are we wrong? It's right there on paper, black and white, confirmed by the state of Florida.
That's right. And
Bro,
it's crazy, man. If everybody really understood, um, even in that last hearing, the judge brought up that fact that, you know, according to your bylaws and the articles of incorporation as well, um, as a second part of this, he said the church is supposed to come together once a year in January
and discuss it.
and vote
That's right.
on, really, if the truth be told, is to vote on all offices.
All officers
This is every year
every
in
year.
January.
Right.
He asked him why wasn't it done. Oh well, because what happened was dude, he had just lost his brother, but it
It's
didn't.
like
Him just losing his brother didn't stop him from running through over $100,000 in a month's
sure
time.
didn't. It sure didn't. In under a month. You're absolutely right. It was over $100,000.
Over $100,000 in 1 month.
And I said that man. At first, they didn't believe me because you and I were talking. I said that man is, and I said it to Drew. I said that man is like a kid in a candy
Hmm.
store. He got his hands on this money, and nobody knew where it was going, and they still don't know. Because remember, he called a meeting. I'm gonna have my financial people get together, and they're gonna put together a spreadsheet. And
Oh yeah, it was supposed to happen.
have you all seen it yet? For
We,
those of you
he
who
got he got up. He
despise
got up. This was at the beginning. At the beginning, and he said, oh yeah, I already got with um a financial advisor, and they were saying that we are in the for the pastor that just have died. Oh, if y'all know what what how y'all are positioned, I don't know no church that's positioned the way this church is positioned after the death of their pastor. Y'all are in the greatest place financially.
he was lying.
Was lying,
He
and
was
he's gonna be coming within supposed to be like a week, and that was in January when he said that.
sure did. Because and you know what? It was because we were pressuring him to show proof.
Mm-hmm.
Show the proof.
Mm-hmm.
I
But you
said
know what? Maybe to a certain degree he wasn't lying because we were positioned at that time. Fine.
I think it now when he was saying that it might not have been in January.
Well, that's well,
Might have been a
but I
little bit later.
but I'm just simply saying because the position that the church was in at the time financially, with the life insurance, with the key man
Now
insurance,
with those things
with these
potentials,
different
those were
assets.
potentials at the time.
Exactly. So I mean, maybe we were.
You know, somebody threw something out there, and I'm going to read it because it definitely is a question that I thought about a lot. And I have to wonder what happened to him as a child for him to have produced this amount of jealousy and hatred for Bishop.
Well, it's just like anything else. When you think about uh, Bishop's gifting, and you look at how Bishop, since the age of 15, 16, was traveling the country as a young preacher at that time,
Yeah.
quite naturally, oh man, if he can do it, I can do it too. And then it can also turn into a competition. Oh, I can do it better because this is what he ain't doing, or
Well, he
whatever.
thought he was smarter than Bishop. Now he really thought he
But
was smarter.
but you
I'm telling
and
you.
so quite naturally, I'm not to be disrespectful to anyone, but when you got quote unquote that golden child, it can make all the rest of the children feel inadequate, and it can create. charity begins at home. That's
It
all I'm
does.
saying.
It does. Period, man.
And so that's something that had to have developed in the home. And I mean, I was just watching The Lion King the other day with
Mm.
Adam, and I said, "My God." I told you I was gonna bring this up because
Yeah,
it
it
just to see that story, how Mufasa and Scar
yeah,
the whole time, Scar
mm,
was envious and jealous of what Mufasa had
yeah.
because he was the king, and he knew that at some point, because of protocol in the kingdom, that you know what, now this king is gonna pass this thing down to Simba.
That's right.
Which y'all, I don't even want to go that deep,
No, you
but
have to because it sheds light on what we're dealing with.
and so for that reason, that jealousy, that envy, it was already there. And all Scar technically had was the hyenas. Yep, that
Ooh,
Cain spirit.
ooh, ooh. All Scar had were the hyenas. Wow.
hmm And it's funny because I'm telling y'all, if y'all all y'all gotta do is just watch The Lion King. It might sound a little comical, but watch it.
Mm.
There was a scene that after Mufasa had died, you could
All right. Okay, there you go. You said there was a scene after Mufasa
hold
died.
on.
Okay. Technical difficulties. Technical difficulties.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
There was one scene where you could see the pride, and Scar was he had put himself in power, and he was basically saying that I'm the king now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the king because, and he was deceiving them. I'm the king now because, as you know, Mufasa have died, and Simba is too young.
Too young. Yeah.
He's,
Too
he's
young.
too young. He's not mature enough to take this right now.
Right.
Who that sound like?
Because that's definitely what he said, bro. That's definitely what he and Randall both said. And he's talking about he don't know what he doing and he is not ready. And that's what Dennis said to me. And Randall said the same thing to
It was
me.
said to
And
me
I
as
said
well.
to him, you think that Dennis is more ready than Derek? I said, I'll take my chances with Derek over Dennis.
hmm
How about that?
And let me tell you what happened. And I'm
But
gonna
this
I'm gonna
man
I'm,
done
I'm gonna
ruined
close with
it.
this.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna close with this. After he said that to the pride event, it's almost like instantly you started seeing the groves and the uh the hyenas coming in,
Mm-hmm.
started taking over,
Mm-hmm.
and as a result, the pride was in captivity.
Pretty much.
The kingdom was in
Yeah.
captivity.
Kingdom was in captivity.
hmm
Kingdom was
So,
definitely in captivity after that. And they suffered.
hmm
They were suffering. Um, the things that we are experiencing, the level of stress that the older saints are experiencing because of this,
yeah,
the level of it. All right, so Dennis operates on a level of dysfunction that's out of this atmosphere.
hmm
And because he operates on that level of dysfunction that is so severe, it's he visits that among the congregation and the churches. His church, they are dysfunctional, but we have the effects of the dysfunctionality because we are fighting against it.
yeah,
And for so long I was like, y'all look like one of the mothers, they didn't want to admit it. Like from the time Bishop passed, then we watched. Go back. to December, go back to January 2023. Start watching the live. Start watching the quality go down, go down, go down. Watch the preaching. Watch the level of space between having a cogent thought and a rambling tongue. Watch. And I think that the people were just, this is our church. We gotta do what we have to make this work. And I get it. I understand. But at the same time, if we keep going down this path, we're not gonna have a place to go to.
Yeah.
We won't. Especially when there is no governance of the money. One person has no business governing everything. No, you need a team, a collaborated team.
Right.
You need to make sure that your finance person is balanced out by the finance secretary. No one person should be in charge of that money. And there should be a process for disbursements, especially when it comes to needing things to be bought and purchased and all. That goes across the board. The board is going to be extremely important moving forward to make sure that the ministry is operating to its fullest potential. It's got to, because right now we're fighting with this thing. Once this thing is over, we got to be ready to take it and go. Got to be ready. I want to encourage the folks that are listening. I'm gonna tell you this: it is coming to an end. It is. It's gonna end. There are some things that are going on, and he's fighting it even more so now. Like the subtle things that they're doing. They're not going to try to come into church on Sunday and stop us from worshiping. But he's going to do other little things on the side like he's been doing, other little small things. It's, the word says small, it's the little foxes that spoil the vine.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's doing. Dennis wanted a Benny. I said Dennis wanted a Benny Hinn style ministry. What was that lady name?
Catherine Coleman.
You wanted a Catherine Coleman style of worship, and just that's fine. That's fine if that's the type of church we are, but we're not that type of church. And the foundation was all right. There was nothing wrong with the foundation. I'm so glad that I had the opportunity, the express opportunity to be under Bishop the amount of time that I was.
Mm-hmm. And that's also another thing he said, and I don't want to say this to keep the conversation going, but that's also one of the things that he said at the beginning of all of this. He said, I have to rebuild the foundation of this church.
Mm-hmm. Yes, goodness. Man, I got
That's what
so
he
many
said.
text messages from people after church. They're going, what do you mean to rebuild the foundation? What is he talking about? The man really thought that he was, y'all don't know, the man would go behind Bishop's back after Bishop has straightened things out. He would go behind the Bishop's back and try to undermine this man. I've seen him do it. I've seen him do it. I've heard him make the statements. And it did not make sense to me that nobody ever looked at you and put you on the same playing field. Nobody. It's like Bishop is, I'm going to say this, let me use it. Bishop is Michael Jordan, NBA All-Star, and you playing for your junior high school team on the 8th grade team. That's how far apart they were with everything in life. That's how far. If you reaching right here, Bishop shooting beyond the moon.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as you gonna go is to that treetop that you see. That's as far as you can see. You got the treetop and whatever falling off the tree, you picking it up off the ground. because you don't have the vision to build a runway that a jet can fly off. Bishop did.
Mm-hmm.
Bishop did. And it's up to us to continue that work. We got growing pains. We're going to be okay. We do
Mm-hmm.
have growing pains. We are going to be all right. We're going to get frustrated. Let's not stop loving one another because we are frustrated. It's okay.
That's
It's
right.
fine. Iron sharpeneth iron. If you see something that I'm not doing and I'm offended you or whatever, you let me know, and I know you will, because we brothers like that.
Mm-hmm.
But along this journey, as we're trying to continue to do what we're doing, we're going to have these growing pains. We're going to have abrasions. We're going to have some rough patches. We're going to have some tough spots that we got to get through. And the
Yeah.
only way that we're going to be able to do it is if we do it together. What would Bishop always say?
We are better together.
Better together. Because
Yes,
you can
sir.
help me in my weak points,
Mm-hmm.
and I can help you in yours.
That's
So
right.
there's no, this is where we are. We are we are actually, we're still New Life, but we're birthing out a new ministry.
Let me tell you something. And I promise you I'm gonna shut up about this.
It's okay, bro.
I'm reading a book by Dr. Miles Monroe, The Benefits and Principles of Change. And literally last night I was reading in one of the chapters, and the chapter is entitled Maximizing Critical Change.
Mm,
Maximizing Critical Change. And that's where we are as a ministry at this point. You know, the death of Bishop was the critical change. Now, what are we doing to maximize
that critical change.
that critical change?
Oh, wow, 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 wow. Wow, wow,
Mhm.
wow. Wow, wow, wow. Maximize. Say that again so that the people can hear, because I want y'all to go and get this book, because I'm about to go get it too.
The book is entitled "The Benefits and Principles of Change," and this particular chapter that I mentioned is maximizing critical change.
Hmm.
And he just talks about, well, in that particular chapter he talked about all these critical changes that happen in life. It can be death, it can be
Yeah.
divorce, it can be, you know, you can maximize. And so it's powerful, man. And that's what we, like I said, that's what we're doing as a ministry at this point. I feel we're maximizing. Okay, we know Bishop isn't, he's not coming back.
No.
He's not coming back. So now that's our new norm. That's
Yeah.
our reality. So now it's up to us to continue to build on the foundation, and not just, like I said, not even stay where we were. Where we were was good, but we we
Yeah.
have somewhere to go. You
Yeah.
know, we have
Yeah.
another level to go to as a
Absolutely.
ministry, and that's why I feel like this is happening as we know. You know, all these different fights, all these little battles in between is because we it's another level for us to reach. You know.
Another level. We gotta go. We gotta go place. What about the seniors that are going to be denied care? Dr. Brokers, let's see. So, um, at this point, what they did to answer the question, somebody has a what about the seniors that are going to be denied care, are Dr. Brockington's programs under Brockington's programs, the seniors of the community. So the judge dismissed their case on Monday, and he gave them 10 days to submit additional information to their argument. Um, our attorney believes that we have good standing, and that we're going to be able to beat this. They're going to introduce some more information because, of course, we're still under that original order.
Hmm.
So anything that goes against that original order is basically contempt.
Hmm.
So that's what's going to happen to answer that question. We're not sure just yet. I'm encouraging Dr. Brockington, because you all know Dr. Brockington. We were able to use her room for Sunday school. She has been one of the people that is named in the lawsuit, along with myself. We're named in the lawsuit that Dennis is suing us, and other unknown names. So just keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, all the other unnamed people are each and every one of us who are members of New Life Church of Orlando. It shows Dennis cares nothing, absolutely nothing about them. Absolutely nothing about the people. He doesn't care at all. All Dennis wants is
Money. That's all.
it. That's it. That's it.
It's
That
proven.
fundraiser ain't gonna build no. That fundraiser not gonna do anything for a food pantry.
Mm.
You don't need money for that.
And even if, and when you think about it, let's be all right, because if we keep on, we're gonna keep going.
I know.
But
I know.
the thing is, all you got to do is do the math, folks. If your tickets are starting at $25, what is $25 going to do? If you're not going to get 100 people there. That's only $2,500. How can that even
It's
affect
you're right.
anything?
If it's a fundraiser, you're gonna start off. All right, this is a fundraiser. The fundraisers that I've been to, and you're talking about a gala, the tickets start at $100, bro. And you don't throw it together at the last minute. It's planned out.
The tickets, from my understanding, are starting at $25.
That's what I say. It is not a fundraiser. It's not.
You're not going to have 100 people there.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Nope.
And even if you had 100 people there, that's $2,500. How's that going to relaunch the food program?
Not gonna do a thing. It is to help them raise money for legal fees. You gotta pay Odessa. She need a new wig. They ain't sitting on her head like this.
I get with you, man.
The part over here, like
It's just sad, man.
it is.
It's just sad.
It's really sad, and the people ought to know that we just that money is
Mhm.
that money is not being used. That I caution anyone who plans on going to that so-called fundraiser. Find out where your money really is going. Track it. Track it. Just like anything else. Track it. Track it. What you're giving to him, track it. You said that you had made he said that he had made they supposedly had fixed up the tool shed or the it sits under an oak tree. It's rats, mice, squirrels, bugs, everything that all that food was ruined. Ruined because it had to be in there was already space made for it. There was already a temperature controlled space for the food pantry. We all saw it. We all loved it. It was Bishop was so proud of that. Sister Lisa was so proud of that. They
Mhm.
put a hard work into it. So now you're talking about you doing a fundraiser for food pantry. People can go down the street to Rise Up. You can go right down the street to Rise Up.
And in reality, and I promise this is my last statement. For all the money you getting from the tenants, there's
And
no reason. There's no reason for no fundraiser to relaunch no food pantry. All that money that's coming in monthly through the tenants.
said too. I'm sorry. I was responding to a comment and I'm gonna read it. Go ahead. All that money, what?
Now I'm just saying all the money that's coming in from the tenants, it's there's no reason to have no food
N-
gap, no fundraiser.
no reason to have the fundraiser. That money is being split. You know, one of the commenters said that Dennis and Earl and they gonna split that money after Tangela get her cut. They probably they probably all they gonna get a cut. And I know it's funny, but guess what? He cutting they doing everything else. Even the money that came under the grant that Minister DeBose got,
hmm
they took that money and used it for something else. And he had to be accountable for that stuff. He had to show proof of what that money was used for. When those people give you grants, you don't just, that's so that they can, man,
They bought 3 bikes and a TV. They bought three bikes and a not even and a TV.
yeah, 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 yeah. Look at that. There's somebody else, and you said this too. Said what's crazy is Bishop was against the sale of tickets. That's why Bishop never had a ticketed event.
Mm-hmm.
Never did that. Mother said I did work with those food pantries for weeks. I remember. No, no. Did he even fix that area? No, he didn't fix it because it's out. It's a wooden
It's a
shed.
wood. Well, if you're a member of New Life, and it would be that section right where the mothers would come in. If you look at that wooded utility shed, that's what it technically is. That's what it
Yeah.
is, and that used to be for the church that was there prior to us. That's where they would store their lawnmowers and landscape
Yes, landscaping equipment.
equipment.
It's almost like a barn.
That's what it is.
Yeah, it's a
That's
barn.
what it is. Yeah.
Barn. And my grandparents had barns. We had when we moved to we lived in a house in the backyard. On the side of the house was a stable, a horse stable, but it was a barn. It had the two big gigantic doors and stuff. Man, that
Hmm.
thing was so full of wood rats.
Hmm.
I would just stand there at the door. I would never even go inside. And
Hmm.
wood rats be, dude. My dad'd be out there stabbing them with a pitchfork. No. So you can imagine what was in that storage bin eating up all that food. And
Yep.
then, they carry all kinds of diseases.
Hmm. They put out at that time. They displayed only the stuff that was, I guess,
In cans.
in cans, and like salad dressings and the bags of chips that the rodents didn't get to.
Mm-mm. I wasn't touching that junk.
Me either. Me either.
I
But
wasn't.
anyways, yeah, that's.
Listen, it is a shame. It was some big gigantic rats inside there. It was, but right, we're raising money for food, but not fixing the container shortage. Nah, that is it's crazy. It's crazy. But listen, y'all, that was our update. Continue to, help pray for Dr. Brockington. Uh, we are definitely in support of her, Lady Drina, because they are taking, you know, at one point was taking a hit, and God blessed her to be on the recovery. Now he's hard, and he never stopped attacking Dr. Brockington. And the reason that they attack her so, because she's a fighter, she's a
Hmm.
pistol. She don't back down. I'm not afraid of Dennis. I'm not afraid
Right.
of Dennis.
And she's on the property,
And
you know.
she's property.
So yeah, it's just wow.
And she's a lady, you all. She has had to, I know she's not afraid, but she's a woman. She's a
Hmm.
woman. And you have people that have got in her face, like men, and to try and intimidate her. Greg Massey was one of the ones, and she didn't back down.
Hmm.
Um, so it's important that we make sure she's a woman,
Hmm.
and she's as my mother could say, Tanaichi. She ain't no big woman. She's petite,
Hmm.
and so but she feisty. She's feisty. She's not gonna back down from a fight. She's not gonna run from a fight. She's gonna stand her ground. And so, and she's supportive of this ministry. And Bishop loved Dr. Brockington. And he loved
Absolutely.
it's amazing. Because of her work, we can be a hospital. Do y'all know how amazing in Pine Hills, the adult daycare is the only place of its kind in the Tri-County area, and it's
Hmm.
in a predominantly black area.
Hmm.
It's the only, and people bus in these seniors of all races and ethnic backgrounds, because that adult daycare is important to, this is how they live on a daily. And you could call Dr. Brockington and she would be at work and you could hear the elderly people in there. They would ask questions. And she would like, go sit down over here and do this and do that. It's important. So Bishop knew how important that work was. And this vagabond is just ruining the work. So there's a lot that we have to think about, be prepared for, continue to pray about, and let's make sure that we are supporting the work, because it's a lot. And if we could just be up on the lookout for some dates and be praying for direction for the attorneys, and Elder Johnson is helping. So yeah, we're fighting, but we're standing strong. We're standing strong. Again, I'm gonna say this one last time: we're better together, right?
Yes, sir.
We're gonna be this. So I'm gonna pray, unless you want to pray tonight and take us out.
Have your way. Have your way, Reverend.
Father, we thank you because you're gracious and you're kind to us, and you love us, and we know it. We hear you when you speak. And Father, in the midst of this battle that we are in, we understand that you are our shield, you are our buckler, you are our protector. It's not easy. So during this time, Father, we are going to lean in even harder. We're going to depend on you even more than we have before, because we know that you have given us an expected end. And we're looking to the hills from which cometh our help. We believe and we understand and we know that all of our help comes from you, God. And so, Father, I ask for these, your people, that you give us strength and courage and faith to hold on in spite of what is happening around us and in spite of what is happening to us. And Father, we understand that the enemy wants to put out an illusion to make us think that he's won. But you, God Almighty, Jehovah Jireh, the Alpha, the Omega, you will never be defeated by the enemy, and you will never be outdone, and you will never be outshined. And I want to tell these people that even in the Word of God, it says that I saw a number that no man could number. That gives me promise and understanding and knowledge that God cannot be outdone. He cannot be outdone. I saw a number that no man can number. These are they that have been washed in the blood of the Lamb. So when it looks like the enemy is going to win, remember, the remnant is bigger than what we are facing. The right now is not even comparable to what God is getting ready to do for us. I speak to your spirits and your hearts and your mind and encourage you to hold on in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we out of here.
Sir.
We're going to see y'all again and again and again. All right, my brother. Have a good night.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I'm sorry about that.
That's all right.
So what I was saying was, this is the same tactic that he used during the summer vacation Bible school.
Yeah.
He tried to sabotage that, and what they did was they shut down the power to the sanctuary. But anyways, we're not gonna go there.
And that was crazy.
You have the saints in the dark.
Yeah. You know, I'm real about this. I'm so real about this. I mean what I say. When I said God told me to do this, I'm going to do it until he say to stop. So it doesn't matter who got what to say about anything. I am not going to stop until this thing is resolved and everything is right. We as a body have work
that's
to
what I'm saying.
do.
It's a gathering. These are saints praying before, quote unquote, a meeting. If any organization have a meeting, those mothers, if there's any form of gathering, if it's religiously based, prayer is one of the main protocols.
You
of
came
any
back
type
in.
of gathering.
And we had a conversation with Elder Earl Carter, me and you. And I, from my recollection, I was speaking to Elder Earl Carter, and I told him, I said, you know what? I said, you know this is wrong. I said, what is he doing? He was like, yeah, man.
What I saw on that film with him in there like that, and the saints on their knees or seeking God and crying out to God, that was an interruption. It was a disruption. And it was disrespectful, and it was not godly. And no matter what anyone says, righteousness exalts a nation. But sin is a reproach to any
Technically,
people.
Dennis is representing himself as the church.
Exactly. Now I'm gonna read and then we're gonna break
Yes,
it down
sir.
a little
All
more.
right, I'm hooked.
Okay, I'm gonna start over. For an example, if an attorney has a lien against his client's real estate, he may obtain his compensation through the sale of the property. That's if it was against 3311 or the address of the parsonage. You get what I'm saying?
I do.
So, anyways, there are 4 elements that makes a charging lien legitimate. Number 1, there has to be an express or implied contract between the attorney and the client.